Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to Voltz Wars. About effing time, I hear you scream. And yes, you're right, it has been rather a while since last we gazed above the glorious Bay of Elysium, and for that, I can only apologise. A few things happened to me that somewhat damaged my Minecraft productivity, shall we say, which therefore made all my other Minecraft things suffer. But those things are done now, and we can crack straight back on, and there'll be lots more Volts coming out over the next few days, which is fantastic. So, there have been a few changes. How are you doing, Jermaine? Long time since we actually spoke, wasn't it? How are you doing? Good stuff. There have been a few changes, as I said. Not nearly as many as I would have liked, obviously. Going for 2 weeks, I think it's been, since last recording a video in this city. I would have liked to come back with many a thing built and lots of glorious structures to show off, but unfortunately there isn't, as I said. Lots of productivity issues happened, for which, as I said, I can only apologise, so 1,000 sorries, but we're back now and everything's going to be fine. And Waylon's still stood up here. He seems to like it a bit better up here. I think it makes him feel special to be up here and not down in the trading post, but how are you doing, Waylon? Good stuff. Right, now the first big change you'll notice is the addition of these blue trees, and they're called trees of transformation, I think. They're a project and creation of Legolas, who is actually off prepping his new tower, which is currently at a very foundation stage. In actual fact, I think we can see a bit of it there. It's over there by that bit of dirt. It's going to be on or around there, I think he said. Anyway, so this is something he said he was working on in the Twilight Forest, back where we found them before all the catastrophes happened with them, and his research is not complete, but he's assured me they're safe, and they do look rather nice, don't they? They make a lovely particle effect and a nice colory change on the ground, and they do look rather glorious, and I think they quite suit the aesthetic of the city that we're going for here, which is very nice. Now, he has requested that I don't touch them, because he is completing his research, but I'm the king, you see! And the king can do as he likes, so I'm just going to go. Now, there's these hearts on there. I'm not sure what these do. I'm not sure if they give you health, but I can flick them, and I assume turning them on and off, and Legolas's probably going to be furious at me for doing that. I'm sorry, Legolas, I'm going to back off now. Right, so yes, so there's these. I think there's 3 or 4 of these just dotted about the shop. I think they look quite nice. They don't harm anyone there. Yeah, quite nice looking things. Anyway, so next change, I've made a small yet rather drastic change to my power armor suit. I've removed all the heat sinks for the reason that I didn't really feel as though they were worth having. By that I mean I don't think how much they weighed and therefore slowed me down was worth the protection that they gave me, if that makes sense, because they only really protected you from lava. And well, I'm looking around here. Where's the lava? I'm not going to fall in lava over here. The only danger I've got of falling in lava is going into the nether. And for what I've got planned, we're not going to need to go to the nether for the foreseeable future. So that's a bit, not really something we need to do. But what I have done is replace those heat sinks with a rather ingenious little thing called active camouflage. And if I press O, I think I said it too, boom! I'm now the invisible man. I'm invisible here, so lovely. Let's turn that off because the king needs to be seen, of course. I believe the effects last for about 20 seconds once you turn it off. And now, oh god, I don't know what F5 mode I'm in. This isn't, oh good lord. Right, I think this is the first person one. Okay, so trees, power armor change. Next thing you may notice is another tree there. Yeah, I think there's 3 at the moment. Legolas seems quite pleased with them. Yeah, so that bit of land over there just above the barracks is where Legolas's putting his tower. The kingdom is expanding beyond the walls, as you'll see in a minute. But yes, you may notice a few battlement changes on the barracks. You may see Ranla and Rate have both returned. Rate, of course, we've seen back before, but Ranla was not back. He has come back with far more than what I asked, if I'm honest. But if we look in here, the army's growing. We've got a few recruits. One of them seems to be playing in the wall. Fair enough. Oh no. What are you doing back there, you silly sausage? Right, anyway, so we've got a few more chaps rocking about here. I'm very much looking forward to seeing all these guys in action, to be honest. We got the guys that we saw before, and then Ranla came back with a few more who have all donned armor and whatever else, which is quite lovely, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them pass out. Of course, we are going to need to think about a uniform, so to speak, armor. We can't just keep them in their training gear forever, but yes, so we've got a good little force of about 15 odd men at the moment, which is very nice. I'll just pop up here so you can see some of the battlements a little more clearly. So yeah, just a bit of colour, a little bit of, oh for goodness sake, don't fall down there, that's a good idea. Hey guys, so yeah, you can see that, pretty basic, but I think it looks okay. I'm thinking about copying this pattern across the whole wall. I haven't done that yet, it's just around the barracks, i.e. fort, but I don't know. Now, I did mention about Ranla. Now, you may remember a few episodes ago, I sent these guys out looking for recruits. Now, Rake came back with some recruits, and he did a fine job, about 10 odd recruits. I think it was 8, actually, wasn't it, Rake? But he found some recruits, and they've done very well. Randler came back with a bit more. My voice cracked then. Randler! So I said, I need some beverage. Tasty water. But yes, as I was saying, Randler came back with a bit more. He came back with some recruits, as you saw in there. One of them's actually just mucking around up there. I don't think they're training at the moment. I think they've got a bit of downtime, but it's good to see some of them were at the training dummies anyway, enhancing their skills. But if we cast our gaze to the right, Booth, what's that, you ask? Well, first thing you may notice is another tree there, but we have just paved over and sort of cleaned up a bit this area here. If you remember, it was just a horrible bit of desert, but we've now sorted that out, and good thing we did, because last night Randler returned, and he returned with rather more, as I keep saying, than a few recruits. As far as he tells it, upon his way back, he came across a village. And that village, unfortunately, had seen itself victim to rather a bad flood. Homes were destroyed, crops were destroyed, livelihoods were destroyed, and he decided he was going to take them with him. And what a kind and generous people that we are at Elysium. We took them in with open arms, which is very good of us, I think. And at the moment, it's a good thing we've got all this place paved over, because they are going to need to think about building houses, and obviously if they can have them in the walls, then it's good. Lady Areth, my dear, has taken upon herself caring for the needy and the sick. Those poor, poor people, she says, and I believe we had some food on for them. And a beds and now things. I haven't actually spoken to many of these guys yet. They came back late last night, and I was already in my PJs, and I didn't really want to do a kingly greeting in my jammies. Unfortunately, I am just in hot pants, so it's not really that much better. But anyway, should we go and introduce ourselves to a few of them? Who's this guy? Rufus, and rabbits, apparently. Okay, Rufus, do you breed rabbits, sir? I breed the fiercest bunnies the world has ever seen. Fiercest bunnies? Okay, death rabbits. Death rabbits. Oh my good lord, they're interesting, Rufus, aren't they, mate? Yes, brilliant. Death rabbits. Okay. Well, they look fantastic, don't they? I hope a zombie spawns along here so we can see them in action. But death rabbits, well, I'm sure we can find a great use for them. Good job, Rufus. Glad to have you on board. We've got some more people here. What's your name? Mr. Lambton, sir. We are going to start building today. Jolly good. Or, well, today, are we at dawn or dusk? I don't know, but we're not going to start building at night. It's probably get a good night's sleep and then build in the morrow, I'd say. And then how are we doing? Oh, I can't even see. Slater. Butchering is more my thing than building, but it has to be done. Oh, of course, we've got a butcher as well. We've got a butcher, a death rabbit breeder. Of course, you've got to have one of them in a city, and then various other things, and hello, and hello, and hello, and hello, and hello. I would love to introduce myself to all of you personally, but there are some matters that need my attention, and that is that we're going to build something. Oh, for God's sake, it's raining. Well, that's put a dampener on the video. It only seems to be raining in that area. Legalon, have you been mucking around with the weather again? Is it these trees causing rain or something? I don't know. Or either that or we're going across biomes. In actual fact, I think the desert starts here, so that probably explains it. But two final things I'll show you. In actual fact, I won't show you the thing over there, but if you remember, I'm speaking very quickly. Sorry if you can't keep up with this. I can barely keep up with it myself. I'm not going to turn active camo on, but I'm going to turn my running assists on just for the sake of speed. There's an Enderman there. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, dear. But if you remember up by that checkpoint, we'd had a bit of water issue. That's now fixed and the canal's all working again. At the moment, it seems empty because the lights aren't on, but still. And then over here, you may see a fenced-off area. Well, let's see what it says. Keep out. Elysium Stadium building site. That's right, my friends, I'm going in because YOLO. But look at this. We're flattening this whole area out, and that's going to be a Colosseum Stadium type majigger. As I said, the kingdom is expanding beyond the walls. Hopefully we're going to, well, I can't really go up high enough to show you on the map, but this whole desert biome I'd like to have civilized, and then obviously going round to Legoland's tower. He's over there somewhere. We won't disturb him. He's deep in study in his, I think he's just in a cave at the moment. His tower's not built, but whatever. But yeah, so expanding beyond the walls, and it's going to start with the Elysium Stadium, which I'm very looking forward to getting finished. So yes, lots of building things to happen, but today we're going to do a bit of experimentation. I think that's everything I had to show you that was new. Oh, this darn rain is going to get on my ghoulies, isn't it? In actual fact, I will just take liberty and sleep in the barracks. Hopefully it'll be dry in the morning. Good night, everyone. So yeah, so today we're going to do some experimenting with, oh, hello, someone else had a sleep as well. Lovely. Right, morning, guys. Right, and it has stopped raining. What glorious news. So yes, I think that was everything I had to say. There are a few more things I should show you, because we have our little project nab over there has yielded a very, very small amount of antimatter. I think I put it here. I'm pretty sure I took it back. But what we're going to do today, I'll just have a look if it is in here. We haven't got too much. No, I didn't bring it back. Okay, it's still over there, but still, I think we've got about 3... Oh, my goodness, there's another... Right, Aglaron. Find that bloomin' squagragra, whatever it's called. It's over there somewhere. Luckily, we don't really use that area for anything at the moment, but still, it needs to go. So, yes, over in Project Nab, we've got about, I think, 3 or 4 bits of 125 milligram antimatter, which still is nowhere near enough to make an antimatter bomb, but still, we're getting there, which is good to see. Now, as I've said for the millionth time, today we're doing some experimentation, and we're going to be experimenting with our force field. Because if you remember when we built it, we made it nice and big, but then we sort of left it there. We didn't really do anything special with it. And if we just turn it on to remind ourselves at what stage it was at. Is it turning on? Oh, yep, there it is, powering up. A little bit slow because it's the first time of the day, I should dare say. But here we go, it is powering up lovely there. So if we look on the map, we can see the circle of what it covers. Now that's good, it covers all the very important things. It covers all the power sources, it covers the ME system, things that we really don't want to lose. But obviously, you know, we own a city, not just an ME system and some power sources. So we're going to want to think about, well, first of all, getting some bread, because I do appear to be a bit hungry. But if we can, making this force field a tad bigger. Of course, it is fixed, but as we know, the server doesn't like to show things that are too far away. So yes, anyway, a bit of experimentation, because I have, let's just actually search for some bread first before I starve to death. There we go, a lovely bit of bread, delicious, yummy, yummy bread. Probably stale as hell, it's been in the ME system for God knows how long. But delicious. The quarries have gone on very, very much well as well. I think we're on about our 6th quarry in Quarryland over there, which is very good. I've turned it off now for the sake of recording, because it does help me get a little bit more FPS than I would normally. But anyway, right, experimenting with force fields for the final time. Now, I have taken the liberty of making a few things, because the quarries have yielded us quite a good bit of diamond. Obviously, I've got a force field projector. I'm making a whole nother force field system up by the first canal point, the canal checkpoint, because that has lended itself liable to some rather nasty attacks. And ideally, we want that ship shape all the time, because we've had to rebuild it twice already, which is not fun. So we're going to put another force field up there. That won't need that much power, because it's only going to cover the checkpoint, so we should be able to sort that out with some tesseracts. But we'll worry about, oh, for goodness sake, I can't get through the door. Have I been eating too many kingly things? I can't fit through the blooming door. Right, anyway, so let's get the things out that I've built, because if I just type in module, I've made a few bits and bobs somewhere else. Yep, there we go. I've made a few of these. Some capacity modules, some speed modules, and some scale modules. And you may think that's quite a lot, but trust me, we had so many diamonds. I think we've still got nearly 200 diamonds in there, and after making all these, that's quite a good amount of diamonds, which is good, because all these do require diamonds. They're not the cheapest things, force fields, but we've got quite a good few amounts of them, which is good. So now if we just pop back up here, oh, for goodness sake, I've missed my jump. It's pre-getting back into Voltz nerves, because we haven't done it for a few weeks. But anyway, so the force field's up as it is. It's very annoying that I can't just show you how it is now, because of course, a server doesn't quite like to show things, but you can see that it's made in some parts. Yeah, it's up. Oh no, for goodness sake, I jumped down here again. Anyway, so let's just pop back up here if we may be ever so kind. Lovely stuff. Now we're going to turn it off. We're going to add a few more bits and bobs. As you can see, oh, actually, it is struggling to hold itself. That probably will run out before long. So we'll just turn that off there. I think if we were to put a few more speed modules in there, I hate that it goes there, but if we put a few more speed modules in there, and maybe another few capacity modules, okay, that should be that good, getting up a little bit more. Hopefully that can fill up a little bit. How are we doing? Let's fill this up first. That's the best way to do things. I think we could probably be quite wise to put some speed modules and some more capacity modules in there as well. I think the limit's 64, so we're going to have to leave that there. In these, we could put some modules, but I really don't think there's that need. But of course, what we are going to try and do, because obviously it covers what it needs to cover, but I'd like it to cover everything. So what we're going to do is put in a few more scale modules, and I'm thinking, let's put in a whole nother stack. So it's going to hopefully then cover everything, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get it to hold, because this is, we're in the grey matter of force fields here at the moment, and it could be very tricky. So we're going to try and make a force field, or try and convert our force field to cover everything, but oh, it's a bit of a maybe at the moment. So this is just going to power up as it is. If these guys would like to hurry, there is some lapis in there still, so that shouldn't. Hurry up, guys! Speed modules don't do anything in here. It really needs the lapis. So, it's getting there. while that's doing that, we could always look at what else we can put in the force field. Because if we just put in, I believe everything ends in module, we can put various things in. So, for example, anti-hostile module, which will kill all hostile mobs inside, which of course is very useful. Anti-personnel module, which could be very good as well to keep pesky Finbar and FMB, etc. away. Of course, if we make that, we are going to need to then make a scanner that will then not kill us and anyone else in the city that we don't want killed, which may lend itself to be a tad complex, but also a very, very good thing to look. Confiscation module, which is also very good, which would confiscate the intruder's items. All these things are more or less the same kind of things to build. Focus matrices and various other things. Ran out of focus matrices, unfortunately, building all these, but we've got the diamonds to build more, so that's fine. So, I'm probably going to put a confiscation module on the force field that's going to be at the start of the canal, because that way, if there is any contraband trying to get into the city, then it can obviously be automatically confiscated, which is fantastic. How are we doing filling up here? Oh, brilliant, we're nearly there, actually. Okay, so then we'll transfer that energy into here, and we will see. I should probably think about putting another lot of speed. Oh, probably we could just max this out, actually, couldn't we? Okay, there we go. So if we want to put killing modules in here and all other manner of business, then we're probably going to want to think about getting rid of some of these, but that's just how it is. Of course, if this doesn't work, then we are just going to have to think about putting more force fields around the shop. Maybe if we can correct... Maybe... I'm sorry, I'm speaking very quickly, but maybe if we can connect them on a kind of loop, redstone loop, to turn them all on at the same time, with the flick of a switch, then that might be very useful. Anyway, let's just equalize the spread there. Hopefully get this filling up before long. Oh, it's not the quickest of things, is it? But that should be good, more or less. So let's continue to have a look at some of these. Force field stabilizer. Stabilizes the projected force field and crystallizes the field into solid blocks. Again, that could be very, very useful. Quite useful if we're making a big block of something or other. I believe there's another one here that will delete blocks, i.e. mine them up. Sponge modules. Oh my goodness, there's all sorts of mannerisms, isn't there? Inverts the field to use negative space instead of positive space. Oh, good lord, that seems rather complex, doesn't it? Silence the force field prevents it from making any sound. All these things will be very, very useful. But obviously, if we want it to be big, then we're going to need to put the capacity modules and speed modules in there. But of course, for the littler ones, which we're going to put at the start of the canal, as I keep saying, it might be useful to put a few of those in. Because the canal does seem to be quite a good entrance point. And it does, or it has in the past, lent itself to some attacks. So, let's see if our experimentation has yielded success, shall we? Let's just pop all these in there. I can't be bothered to have them in my inventory. Power Claw as well. That's another thing I need to work on. Power Claw, basically, I want to turn it into a weapon claw. Because that way we can... And a mining claw. Because that way we can then retire Ukupatheka. Because it's a very old sword. And it really deserves its place in a nice, shiny display case. Rather than in my hand, killing enemies. Of course, that's what it was built for, but I think it's a rather good ornamental piece, and we would probably want to think about hanging it up somewhere, maybe in the new palace when that's built. It's going to be built very soon. I've got plans, I've been speaking to architects, hopefully that's going to be done very soon. Lots more patterns on it, lots more everything. Anyway, we're doing force fields today, so let's see. Okay, so we're full. This is going to be very, very fingers crossed, because I'm not sure if this is going to work at all, but here we go. Okay, so it's definitely draining electricity. We can hear it working, actually. I'm not sure if you'll be able to, because that's quite loud, but let's just see. Oh, good lord. We're not even going to be able to see this happening, are we? Going to have to go quite a far way away. Oh, my goodness, what was that? I'm scared. Oh, it is forming. Oh, go on. It is forming. Oh, yes, look at this. Oh, for goodness sake. Still need to put a cooling system on this. Let's just get in here before I die. Oh, good lord. Is it gonna hold itself, though? I'm not sure if it's gonna have enough energy. Well, this is certainly big enough, isn't it? Oh, come on, fingers crossed. Or even still here, it's still gonna miss Legoland's tower, isn't it? Well, he's put it somewhere over here, I'm not sure. But it's covering most of the farm. It's certainly covering the whole city, which is the main bit of concern that we've got. Obviously, keeping everyone safe. Or it's covering the majority of the city, I should say. But still, this is pretty good, actually. Look at this. I don't know if it's holding, though. I don't know if it's holding. Come on. We've got as many speed modules in there as we can have. Got as much capacity in there as we can have if we want it to be this big. But, ooh, fingers crossed. See how it's done for energy. It's draining out. It won't be able to hold itself at this level. Well, it works, so that's a really good sign. Of course, it needs to be bigger still. Oh, good lord, right. Okay, well, I would call that experiment a very slight success. Let's turn it off now, and shall we just put it in, maybe, let's just have it 16 bigger. Let's just let it fill up again. The easiest way to get it to fill up, I find, is to fill up this. In actual fact, that's already filled up, and then equalize. So that should then be getting more power in it. Well, I was quite pleased to see that, to tell you the truth. I thought it might just break entirely, but it's a good sign, but still, I'm not sure if it's going to ever power itself up enough to work, because I suppose we could put more Fortron capacitors there and more coercion drivers, but that experiment's for another day. But this has yielded some rather spectacular results, and it's certainly put us on the right path to protection. Anyway, let's get back over there. I've been running about the shop, most unfortunately, but let's get back over there if we may. Let's just pop round here. Of course, this area down here still needs to do a lot of things to work on, and they're going to be worked on very soon. There's going to be lots of building happening, and hopefully this city's going to look a lot better for it. But let's just pop down here. So we're full again, so it's now just going to be 16 blocks wider as opposed to 64. So let's turn that on and see if we can hold this. We should be able to see it forming. We can hear it working, and we should be able to see a bit of energy being derived away. It's not actually taking up that much energy, which is quite good. But, okay, this is promising. I think it's working here. Look at that. Okay. Yeah, nice. Oh, brilliant. Okay. So maybe if we could just get three or four force fields of this size. That has worked, of course, if we just jump in here. It's really annoying that the force field does that. I think it might just be a connection issue on my side. It might just be a thing the server does to save lag, i.e. not loading it in visually. But you can see it's there. It just loads in kind of like a wormhole, if that makes sense. But my goodness, that force field's working. As you can see, it now covers a whole chalk more, which is good to see. Brilliant. Well, so 16 blocks wider. So I reckon with a bit of tinkering around, we can get the 64. I really want the whole city covered, so it's probably going to be a massive, massive ordeal. But, well, that's a very pleasing sign, isn't it? I'm more than happy with that. Very good. Very, very good. Look at that. That is a force field to be reckoned with. So I reckon we could probably make it a little bit bigger still. Let's do some more experiments, shall we? Oh, and in here. We do have something else I'm going to start working on in a minute, but I am getting quite excited by the fact that this seems to be working quite well, and that was holding itself as well, energy-wise, which is really good to see. Right, so let's just, let's put another 12 in. That's now going to cost 6.14 kilojoules of energy, but let's see if we can turn this on once that's completely gone. We do want it to go before we start building the other one, because that could lend itself to some confusion, much like my mouth was getting in. My mouth was getting a tad confused. Oh, my goodness. Jesus! Shotgun midget. I know you got a shotgun, but that was blooming... Oh, my goodness, man. Right, I also need to think about putting some actual armor on this darn power armor as well. And putting some torches up in here. Have I got torches on me? I don't at the moment, unfortunately. But, as I said, many a thing to work on. But this force field experimentation is leading itself to be rather good. So let's just see if it can mend itself here. By mend itself, I mean make, of course. Just give it a minute to work. Oh, it is forming. It is forming. Oh, top banana. Look at this. That is absolutely 3 creepers. That's just unfair. Oh, no. Don't explode, please. Oh, good lord. We've rebuilt these docks enough to then have a creeper blooming blow them up, haven't we? Okay, so maybe we want to think about putting that mob killer in. That could be very useful. Let's just pop back up here. I did see an Enderman there. We don't want to aggravate that thing. Oh my goodness, is it going to be daytime yet? I'd love it to be daytime. Anyway, so that's... Oh my goodness, that's flickering, isn't it? That is flickering. It's holding itself. I guess the speed modules just get a little bit slower at this. Why are there so many mobs? Goodness me, I know it's nighttime, but seriously. So it is making. So I think all these are rather good things. Yep, there they go. It's making. Brilliant. Oh, is it holding itself? Oh, my goodness. Okay, there's a bit of a kerfuffle going on down there. Good job. Oh, the rabbits might get involved. I've got to go down and see how the rabbits do. Go on, rabbits. Show me what you're made of. Death rabbits. Go on. Oh, no, just Sarawon. Lady Arath's getting involved as well. Go on, Sarawon. Good. Right, okay. Turrets and Sarawon will deal with all that, but that's covering a good old chalk, isn't it? Oh, my good lord. We need it to be daytime pretty sharpish. Okay, I'm not sure if this one's going to form, unfortunately. I think it might just be a little bit too big. But with the 16 there, the 64 and the 16, so that's actually doing maths. That's 80 blocks as a circumference or a radius, I'm not sure. There was a creeper there, for God's sake! Please be daytime soon. But yeah, so what we can do is make a few more projectors. I'll just turn this off for now and take 16 we liked having in there, wasn't it? Okay, brilliant. We'll put the rest in here for now. I think that was a thoroughly good experiment. And what we now know is that we know how big we can have it and have it work at a sustainable level. And then we also know that we're probably going to need maybe another 2 or 3 just dotted about the shop, hopefully, to then cover everything, which is good. And as I said, we could probably work on getting that under a redstone switch and stuff and things and stuff and force fields and good and hooray. Now, let's go and sleep. Unfortunately, my bed's in the barracks as well because the palace isn't mended, but let's just pop in here, have a nice little snooze. Hey, guys, how are we doing in here? Lovely. I can't wait till these guys pass out. It's going to be brilliant. But anyway, sleepy time, and then in the morrow, we shall work on a little thing that you might call space travel.